Okay, this video is a book review. Here's the book. It's called The Passion of the Western Mind. Here's the book cover for it. I'll get myself out of the way. Author's name is Richard Tarnas. Okay, this book was a bestseller. And I'm going to tell you right from the beginning, I think the book stinks. I think it's a waste of time. I don't think you should read it. I've read tons and tons of books about Western history. He calls himself a philosopher and an astrologer. And usually between the lines, that means the guy's an atheist. I think he's an atheist because he showed no real appreciation for Western culture. It was just a stupid book. And whenever an atheist writes a book about Western civilization, it always stinks. Because the great thing about Western civilization is Christianity. 99% of everything good in Western civilization comes from Christianity. So if the person doesn't like or appreciate Christianity, their book's going to stink. You know, he had no insights. Everything he said sounded like it came out of a public school textbook. I've read tons and tons of stuff about it, so I know where all the good stuff is, and I know when I'm hearing BS. This was lightweight, meaningless crap, like something like a introductory textbook at a junior college. Okay, and the fact it became a bestseller means that it was promoted by people who hate Western civilization, because it's a piece of crap. It's a waste of time. I'm just going to show you a couple books that are good. Okay, so you know what good Western civilization history books are. And these are just the best ones. I've read tons of them. Okay, here is The Cave in the Light. This is the best philosophy book ever written. Okay, now Bertrand Russell wrote a philosophy book, but it's a piece of crap because Bertrand Russell's an atheist who hates Western civilization. And if you hate Western civilization, you know, he wants communism. He wants, you know, things we need, poop, you know what, Lation. Control. If that's what you want, then you're going to hate Western civilization because what did Christ say? He said, be fruitful and multiply. Okay, well anyways, you want the best philosophy book, this is it, Arthur Herman's The Cave in the Light, contrasting everything between Plato's views, Platonic views, and Aristotle, Aristotelian views. That's the best book, okay? I've read numerous philosophical histories of it. That's the best one, and the audiobook is quite good. All right. Now I'll show you a couple other good histories. The best history of the Christian church, the Catholic Church, is this one by Thomas Woods. He did a great job with it, and there's also a YouTube video series related to the book. Okay, so I think he did an excellent job researching it and writing it. His background is especially as a historian and an economist. He knows all about capitalism and how the Catholic Church invented that. It also invented the scientific method and a whole bunch of other things. The university system, the hospital system, the charity system, etc. The Renaissance because of the Catholic Church. Thomas Aquinas, Albert the Great, the Scholasticism school leading to the Italian Renaissance, etc. This is an excellent book, okay? And he is an excellent speaker in his YouTube videos. All right, the next guy is Rodney Stark. Now, Rodney Stark's not even Christian at all. He's a sociologist who started researching Western civilization, and he's just smart and he's honest. And he's very intelligent, and he digs deep for factual information. So his books are quite good. The Victory of Reason, How Christianity Led to Freedom, Capitalism, and Western Success. The Triumph of the West, you know, and why it was so great. Okay, they're all good. He wrote another one, too. He wrote one called Bearing False Witness, How People Unfairly Criticized the Catholic Church. It did everything. In the Greeks and Romans, if you're poor, you're scum, okay? You should be a slave or go die. No one cares about you. Versus in, you know, the Middle Ages, Catholicism, they're making hospitals for these poor people. The monks are giving them a place to live, okay? In the Roman world, they made the women protected in marriage. They weren't protected before. Before that, the husband could just say, look, you're old, you're fat, get out of here, I want a new model. Okay, that's what they would do. All right, versus Christianity say, no, you're married, you stick with your wife and your family, and you treat her well. Okay, so women loved Christianity. It was a million times better than what they were used to. Okay, look how women are treated all over the world. Look what the Catholic Church does to women. It puts Mary as the Queen of Heaven. Okay, that's the highest ranking thing any woman ever gets anywhere. Okay, it has all these female saints, female saint feast days. It celebrates women. Okay. Look how women are treated in other religions. Look how they're thought of, okay? All right, if you want to get going on the Greeks, the best place to start is Edith Hamilton. You can just read her book, The Greek Way, The Roman Way, and then mythology, Greek mythology. And you can watch YouTube videos. I made a YouTube video about her, but that's a great introduction to the Greeks. There's tons of great stuff on the Greeks, but that's a good introduction. The other guy who's really good is Rufus Fears. He's the best history professor you'll ever see. Rufus Fears, Harvard-trained guy, super smart, super nice, and also very enthusiastic. It makes the teacher better when they're enthusiastic because if they love the material, they know how to find all the good stuff. They know how to find all the diamonds and show them to you rather than just some, half-butt college professor, atheist, low IQ scumbag who's just going to go through the motions and act like he's too cool. They all suck. Atheists always suck at anything culturally because they don't believe that life has meaning. If you don't think life has meaning, then how are you going to find meaning to show to other people? People want something meaningful. So somebody who loves it can find all the meaningful good stuff and show it to you. That's why they're the best. So his course on the Greeks and the Romans, famous Greeks and Romans, are fantastic. And he's got a whole bunch of YouTube videos that you can watch. Rufus Fears. He's an awesome professor. Okay, and then of course my books are great. What's good about my books is that you see all the pictures. All these other guys, they're giving you all this text, and they're going to go into way more detail than I do. But I'm going to show you the beautiful paintings and other creations of the West. And it's nice to see the pictures. It's easy to remember them. Here is, I did Christian art. I did all the best of the West and a whole bunch of subjects. Best Christian songs. And how science really all comes from the West. Almost everything you can think of before 1900 came from the West. There's a few little tiny exceptions here and there, but not much. Okay, and it was invented by the Catholic Church, the scientific method. Okay, this is well known. Anyways, I hope you found that helpful.